What's up, guys? We are here with Kyle Vergottinni again, and he has a pretty spicy deck profile for us here today. He is playing mono green, but he is doing it in some very funky fashion. We are playing the secondary champion, Ariana Adventurer of the Argos, in this mono green deck. So I'm gonna let you get into the deck profile, Kyle. What is your reasoning for this madness?
Okay, so the reason I'm playing this is because the whole reason I'm doing this is for a purely aggro deck. There's unlike other the green blue I played before. It's not meant to be reactive at all. It's just straight up just flood the board. And I realized that because of that, there's no reason to play Item in this deck, really. It doesn't give it the same advantage. And also your burning card advantage to play Item. I want this to have extra cards at the beginning of the game.
So since not many people ever considered even looking at this card, let's read it out loud for a second. At the start of the game, after your mulligan, you can add one Kala Trusty Companion and or one Ariana's Amulet from your deck to your hand, so it's basically just a +2 to start the game off, as long as you don't accidentally draw into it on your mulligan, which would suck. Yeah. So let's get into the deck and see what we got here.
Okay, so first two, obviously we got Ariana's Amulet and Kala. Amulet is nice because it's a guaranteed turn one play. I play a few of 1-drops in this deck, but in case you don't happen to pull anything, you can at least draw a card. Kala is just for the plus. There's really
I mean, look at that thing. It's
it's
absolutely
just
adorable.
nice having your trusty companion in your hand at the start of every game.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so that's just for the champion.
Yeah, Ariana's Amulet too is one of the few. I don't want to say an out to Sylvia, but it basically will stop it for a turn at the end of your turn. You just sack it, and they can't use Kite for a full turn. So it makes them think about Sylviaing that turn because they can't bounce it back.
Right. Yeah, so it's a pretty good card to have at the beginning. This guy's just a dude. That's about it.
Okay.
So we got triple Skyship Engineer, just really good green card, 1-drop 1,000. We got the Sky Recruit.
The little guy.
Yeah, so just another 1-drop to start the game off with. He just searches into himself, so he gets more card advantage, and has some interactions with other cards that I'll talk about as I get to them. So just another card, another 1-drop to play. We got the Command Center, so the whole point of the deck is really just to try and flood the board within the first few turns, and this just gives you a lot of mana off of every time. You can just use Kite every turn and get mana off of it. And you can also use it to summon units during your opponent's the end of your opponent's turn.
Yes, that is the huge thing with this card.
Yeah.
This card is actually really, really good. It's one of the few augments that weren't actually attempting to pop it with either a green special shard or a acid monger or something like that. What it does is it says when a unit is returned to your hand from the field, so you just abuse it with Kite, place 1 counter on this card for each. Exhaust, remove any number of counters from this card, put into play 1 unit from your hand with cost equal to the number of counters removed. So one thing to note on that is you're not actually sacrificing it. A lot of the augments in the game to get that kind of an advantage require you to sacrifice it. You can stack these things. If you have 2 of them out, you basically just free mana for you to play, like you had said, on the end phase of your opponent's turn to kind of surprise them and catch them off guard.
Yeah, and that's one reason why you want it. Why I keep talking about card advantages, because these are basically they generate free mana, which is nice. But other than that, this is just you're devoting that card to that. It's not giving you anything else in return. So you want to be able to have a lot of cards. You want to be able to use Kite a lot. So that's you're discarding a card every time there. So you need to be able to discard cards for that. So so now the 2-drops, we got Zandsea Traveler, just a staple in most aggro decks involving air. Really good card.
And a lot of your cards are really low drop, so
Right, that's
like that could be an extra unit on the board to put pressure on your opponent.
yeah. I mean, definitely the 15 makes a big difference. So for other 2 drops, we got Skytree Hawk. As other people might have said, it's just the next best 2 drop. Really, I mean, it's the fact that you can use it to dig for cards is really nice. 1,000. That's, I mean, most of the other 2 drops are 1,000, but it's the only one that's like actually good. So play 3 of those. And then I got 3 of these Monarch Skydagger. Mainly it's there because you just want to get it as early as you can so that Kite just becomes free for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that card is crazy, man.
Yeah, and I mean 2 drop for 500 really it doesn't seem like a lot of value, but it's a way that you can pump up your small guys, and you can use it for things where it's basically a free card. You're not like getting rid of, you're not committing to playing other cards in your hand, so it's nice.
Things
for that
that I can get
too.
over is like Argent Egg was a really big one. We had some play testing. We were just playing for fun, and we had it pop over Argent Eggs, which would normally be Guardians, to get some extra pushes in. Things like that. It's just kind of like a utility card and free pitches for days.
Yeah, that's a really important card in this deck. We got the 3 Omega Magic. It's a free card.
Yes,
Another green
solid
staple.
card. Awesome card.
3 Hurricane Shot. This is the only really one of the few like reactive spells in this deck, and I'm honestly considering cutting it because usually you want to burn all your mana to fill the board. But I just figured it was the best standalone green spell for the slots I took. But and that's it for 2 drops. 3 drops, we got 1 Cloud Sea and 3 Skytree Dragon. If I had 2 more Cloud Seas, it would be the other way around. I would be running 3 Cloud Seas for sure, but for now I just have it this way. Skytree Dragon's there just because there's really not a lot of like good like 3-drop airs, it seemed like, and I just want to be able to get in more low monsters, and he's a card that gets around Guardians.
Yeah, I've seen you OTK people by summoning the command center, like using the command center to summon the Skytree Dragon to handle their extra Guardians a couple turns before. But yeah, Cloud Sea's also.
Yeah, I mean that I think the game you're talking about, that was like a late game thing, but yeah, it's really nice being able to. It seems kind of slow on its own, like having to play it and then wait a turn before it can do anything, but you can just command center it cards at the end phase, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Then we got 3 items, also kind of a staple in like mono air, like just
Everything's bouncing back, so they're just free. They come out early. 2,500 beater, like right off the bat, is just strong.
Right. You play Kite, so all you need is any unit you can bounce twice. Like there's a few 1-drops you can use with that. So that's yeah.
One thing we will have to look into, we saw in our play testing, is this card. You're bouncing so many things in this deck that there's times where you're actually bouncing more than twice. And we had a situation come up where you were trying to play this on your 3rd bounce of the turn. We have to, like, on the card it specifically says like
second time.
On the 2nd time, but I'm sure that's probably how it goes. We'll have to look into it though. Either way, the card's really good.
Yeah. So then we got Sylvia, obviously.
God
4-drop. Yeah, it's really good.
No
Even in this.
needed.
Yeah, and then this is part of the reason why I'm trying to dump so many small units at the beginning of the game, is because Royal Command.
This thing right here, it looks like a unit. It's not a unit. Switch all units, all air units you control to active. Air units get 1,000 this turn. So, yeah, I think that's a little self-explanatory there. You pretty much go in, break all the towers with your little guys, and then they become a real threat when you drop this spell, and you just swarm essentially.
Yeah, Sky Recruit for 5 boosted. A field of Sky Recruits boosted up by 1,000, all become 15. That's a second battle phase. Yeah.
Yeah, double battle phases is insane.
Yeah.
Swinging with 10 units in 1 turn is crazy.
And then the last card of the main deck is Garga. And before I was just going to try in 1 run because I figured I wanted to run as little as, like, as many like low drops as I could, but I found, even though I want to play this deck on like a 4 or 5 turn clock, that doesn't always work. So having a strong card like this that has quickness, the only one thing with quickness in the deck is really important. So if that.
Yeah, and you just being able to bounce your own stuff, because you can realistically like bounce some of your 1 units back to then proc off your in 4-drop 2500 guy, right? Because things are being bounced back to your hand.
Yeah, I mean,
summon him for free.
Yeah, Iron kind of just with Kyte kind of pays for itself.
I guess
but yeah, it's you play a lot of 1-drops, so you don't even, if you have to, you can bounce your own guys to give them the quickness.
Exactly,
it's not a huge deficit.
Yeah.
So that's it for the main deck. Got the special shards because you have to, or you might as well, and that's pretty much the deck.
So I mean, the deck kind of seems like a meme deck, but like, how do you think that this deck could actually fare? Like, what is your answer to like Kyte or Argent Kyte? Like, does it have an okay matchup? Like, how's that been going?
Well, as you might know, haven't gotten through a lot of testing. Really, the reason I was trying this is because green blue I was playing before is nice, but it doesn't have a lot of answers. Like, I mean, it's too slow. It's not fast enough to win right away, and I don't have any really ways to challenge Sylvia. So I'm trying this as an aggro deck. So realistically, hopefully the answer to Sylvia is win first, as partly why other decks like yellow are so good. So I'm just giving that a try. That's my hope. It's been going okay so far, but hasn't had a lot of testing, so I'm gonna keep working.
Overall, it seems pretty strong. I really appreciate you sharing it. Nobody that I've heard of has even looked at this card for more than 7 seconds without pretty much just throwing it in the garbage can. So it's cool to see you kind of utilizing something that's a little less well known and putting the time into deck build and test it out a bit and explain all the combos and stuff like that. So thank you very much, Kyle. And I think that's it, guys. Make sure you guys sub up to the YouTube, hop in the Discord, all that good stuff. And we'll hit you back with some more Argent Saga content later. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.